Hi, I'm Mary Forsythe with Kingdom Living Ministries, and I'm really looking forward to our Take 5 today. It comes from John 14, where Jesus is interacting with the boys, and he's letting them know, hey, if you, me and my Father are one, and if you would just look to me, you would see God. And one of the disciples, Philip, even responds and says, Lord, show us the Father, and it'll be sufficient for us. In other words, I've got a need here, and if you'll just show us God, then I know it's going to meet that need. And Jesus is saying, I reflect the Father. Just look to me. Just look to me and you'll know God. You know, we have a divine design. Every heart, every person you see on the planet has a divine design, an internal need to connect with God as Father. And there's many reasons why we have a distorted image of God, where we attribute things to God that aren't of his nature or character. And we're all growing and maturing in how we see God. And this is a season, I think the Holy Spirit really wants to reveal the Father. And one of the ways he does that is he has us look at Jesus. You know, our hearts are just like the disciples, that we're longing to connect with the Father in a more clear and intimate way. And one of the interesting things is how we see him many times is judge. You know, the minute I say the word judge, what do you think of? You know, of course, many of us will think of a courtroom and someone that passes judgment, that is assessing your right or wrong. Is that how you see the Father? What's interesting, I've got a mentor that says this: words aren't that important, but how you see words working is important. That word judge in the Bible actually is the word, I might mispronounce this, is shofet. And that word does not mean punitive, as in assessing right or wrong. It actually means someone anointed to bring restoration and healing. Wow, little bit different take on the word judge. We even see that. We have a book in the Bible called Judges. And those men and women were anointed by God to bring restoration to Israel, not to bring some kind of assessment of right or wrong and then consequence. I'll tell you, our Father is a judge, but he judges the same way we want a medical doctor to judge us. If we go to a dermatologist and we have a funny looking spot on our arm, we want that dermatologist to judge that spot, whether it's cancer or a freckle or an age spot, and then to make decisions to bring restoration and healing and wholeness to that area. Can I tell you, I totally believe that God is judge, that he is a shofet. He is longing to bring restoration and healing. So I want to encourage you. How do you see God? How do you see your Father? Do you kind of walk around on pins and needles thinking God's watching your every move and going to assess it right or wrong? And if something is difficult in your life, you assess that as God's judgment against you? Ask the Holy Spirit to show you Jesus. I like to say it this way. I want to read it because I love the rhythm of this. God is like Jesus, exactly like Jesus. God has always been like Jesus. We just didn't know it. But now we have the full revelation and the picture of what God is really like. Jesus came to reveal the Father. And let's allow and ask the Holy Spirit, Lord, help us to see Abba Father and replace any distorted image that we have of him, because we want our revelation of him to be clear and our relationship with him to go deeper. All right, thanks for joining me for Take 5.